Starting off with Chica, this is her movement map, and at AI level 20, she is guaranteed to move every 5 seconds, give or take. She'll start at the show stage, move to the main area, over to the bathroom, back to the main area next to the kitchen, but if you have the general and use the key to the kitchen, she will instead enter into the kitchen, stand in a random spot, and do a sound cue. Then she moves to the right hallway, the corner behind your right door, and then to your right window, in which case you could see her on the light, and you have to close the door to prevent a game over. Once she leaves, she goes back to the show stage and repeats the entire process. Now, out of all the animatronics, Chica may be the easiest to deal with because there's no RNG in her move patterns, and if you have the general, she has a sound cue that makes it really easy to tell where she is at a given point and when to prepare for her arrival. Fun little detail also is that Chica's cupcake clips into the window when she actually walks to said window. So that's kind of a little way to know if she's there without you needing the light. So useful little tip. Next we have, oh god, we're gonna get to you later. Moving on to Freddy. Freddy is very similar to Chica and will also attack the same door and actually has the same movement map. What makes Freddy different is that he's a much more aggressive variant of Chica and moves every 3 seconds instead of every 5 seconds, meaning that he's going to be more aggressive than Chica for throughout the entire night. Another thing to note is that when Freddy attacks your door, he'll actually stand at the door and not at the window. So it's harder to notice if he's there. And you might have to rely on the danger sound cue you get when animatronics at your door, or you might see a shadow. I don't know. Just figure out what you can do there. Third thing to note about Freddy that makes him different from Chica is after he finishes a successful attack on your door and then you block him, he doesn't retreat back to the show stage, but instead retreats back to the right hallway and will continue this throughout the rest of the night, where he will go to the right hallway, go to the right corner, and then go to your right door, and then back to the right hallway. So it makes him much harder to deal with because he will never actually leave your right hallway for the rest of the night once he gets to you. As for two very useful tips you can use for countering Freddy, he actually has a sound cue for every single time he has a successful movement opportunity, which sounds like this. Basically, if you simply count how many laughs he has in comparison to his movement opportunities, you can always know where he is at a given point. You never even need, you can beat the entire night. If it was just Freddy, you could beat the entire night without ever even using the light system. It's it's really easy to keep up with him. So a good useful tip for that is after Freddy attacks your door and he laughs, that means he's at the right hallway again, which means every subsequent 2 laughs he's at your door. First laugh he's in the corner, the second laugh he's at your door. And then once he laughs again, he's gone. Then once again you repeat the process. 2 more laughs, he's at your door. And then he laughs and he leaves, right? The second useful tip about Freddy is that he can be stalled on the camera if you look at him. Or I think if you just generally use the camera, it works. But just in case, watch him on the cameras because it actually stalls and pauses his timer, which means that you can try to do some useful things like syncing up Chica and Freddy to attack together, which means you don't have to close the door nearly as much to deal with them individually. It's much easier to handle them as a team, right? So with the camera trick, just keep in mind it doesn't actually outright fail his movement opportunity. It more just pauses it. So if he was like 2 seconds away from moving, then he'll just pause and then kind of continue. From what I've seen, he'll just kind of continue his timer once again. So for moving over to Foxy, uh, his movement map doesn't exist technically because he just chills at Pirate's Cove until he suddenly bursts out and starts running at your office, making this sound. Of course, if you close the left door in time, he will bang on the door, take a percent of power, and then leave. Then to restart his cycle. And if you fail, well, I mean, you could assume what would happen. Each time Freddy bangs on your door, he will take a percent of power, as we said, and each attack that he gets blocked increases the amount of power lost. So if he attacks you the first time, you'll only lose 1%. But if he attacks you a second time, he's now going to take 4%. If he attacks you a third time in the night, he's taking 7%. And the fourth and subsequent, like onward attacks, 10%. What does that mean? You do not want Foxy attacking you because as much as you can block him easily, he's also draining your power insanely fast, leading to a blackout, which is probably a game over. How do we stop this? Well, we have to view Foxy, and we can view him in multiple stages. Stage one, the Pirate's Cove camera. If you're viewing it, the curtains will be completely closed, meaning that Foxy is in his first stage. Stage two, the curtains are slightly opened, and so you can see Foxy a bit. Stage three, the curtains are now almost fully open. In stage four, the curtains are completely open with Foxy ready to exit. Stage five, Foxy's going to exit Pirate's Cove, stand next to the out of order sign, and when he succeeds after five, he's rushing you and making that sound. Foxy's movement opportunities will also happen every 5 seconds, by the way. Uh, so I'm just going to outright say it right now. Bonnie, Foxy, and Chica have about 5 seconds in their movement opportunities. Freddy is the only different one. So if you're kind of counting in intervals of five, that could probably be your best chance to handling these animatronics and knowing when they're going to attack you. So when you're using the camera systems, Foxy is going to just completely fail his movement opportunities. Uh, and it doesn't matter if you're looking at his Pirate's Cove or not, as long as you're just using the cameras, Foxy fails movement opportunities. So let's say Foxy moves every 5 seconds, right? And on second four, you flick open the camera. When you have opened said camera, when it gets to Foxy's 5th second, where he does a movement opportunity, it's going to fail because the game says, hey, player is looking at camera, fail movement opportunity, and Foxy's not going to advance a stage. What this means is that since you are functioning on 5 second intervals, basically you want to, on like the 4th second, I guess a good strategy is to flick open your camera for a second and then close it, and Foxy will have failed. And then you're going to wait. So 1, 2, 3, 4, flick, 5, close. Because by then, when the 5th second rolls out, he'll fail, and then you can close it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you flick, and then fail his 5, fail his movement opportunity on the 5th second, and close. Right? That's probably the best way to handle him. And out of all the animatronics, fighting Foxy individually is the easiest because as long as you just kind of check the camera here and there, that's it. But when you're doing 420 or going up against other animatronics, Foxy is much harder to deal with because he is requiring you, demanding you to use the cameras, which leaves you kind of vulnerable to any animatronics if they sneak through to your door. So easy solo, very difficult, or compared to the other animatronics when paired with the crew. Okay, fine. I'll actually talk about you. So Bonnie is like Chica, but not really. Um, Bonnie is kind of Chica's opposite. Bonnie will attack your left door and not your right door. He'll move every 5 seconds, just similar to Chica. And this is his movement map. And here's what you're going to notice. Holy cow, what is going on? Well, to put it simply, Bonnie can go from the show stage, sprint over to the janitor's office, go right to your left corner, and be right at your door. Just like Freddy, he'll be right at your door. So you'll have to listen for a danger cue or potentially see his shadow if you have your door closed. Now, all these extra arrows are just optional paths Bonnie can take. He can sometimes just chill around in the main area and then sometimes shift himself a little bit to the left or right during movement opportunities. Sometimes he'll go all the way to parts and services and just chill there for a while. And sometimes he'll look like he's rushing you and then just straight up leave. Like he'll be in your hallway and then just decide to dip. And that's what makes him so difficult because he is completely RNG reliant and his path is very annoying. You can't just count seconds and movement opportunities like the other animatronics and figure out where he is. The Foxy's demanding you to try and keep up with where he is, or else he's gonna sneak by, he's gonna kill you. And also, after a successful movement attack, of course, just like Chica, he will actually return to the show stage. So that is a kind of way you can keep up with him because you know at least when you block his attack, he'll be back at the show stage. That you could try to figure out where he is. I think the best way to deal with Foxy is just to not really deal with Foxy. Like for example, 420 mode, you have to focus on two animatronics attacking your right hallway. Foxy's chilling in the Pirate's Cove, and while he is attacking your left hallway, he's much easier to keep up with, right? You know what stage he's gonna be in. You can hear him from when he's coming. It's easier. But Bonnie is the only real threat of your left hallway, and while he is sneaky, I think as long as you focus on protecting your right door and then take as many opportunities as you can to just flash your light in the left hallway every now and then, you should mostly be fine. Just make sure you know where Freddy and Chica are, deal with them quickly, move over to Fox or Bonnie, check for him, deal with Chica and Freddy really quickly, move over to Bonnie, and you can kind of just keep him in the back catalog of things because there are chances that sometimes he just won't attack you. He'll just be chilling all the way eating pizza in the main area or just I don't know messing with screws and parts and services. He'll just be in random locations. So he's not always he can be the most aggressive thing on the planet or just be your friend and just do nothing the entire night. It's really just a coin toss sometimes. Another way you could deal with Bonnie is just by patterns, I guess. If you know where Bonnie is, you could probably guesswork to know where he's going next. If he goes to parts and services, I'm pretty sure it basically means he's guaranteed to go to the main area next. I don't think he'll actually sprint over to the janitor's closet. Take what I'm saying with the grain of salt, do your own testing for if you want to do Bonnie patterns. But it's kind of just like, I know where you are, I can guess where you will be. And if you can guess where he will be, you can kind of figure out how long until Bonnie's relative actually going to attack you, and how long until I actually have to concern myself about him. Right? If I know he's in parts and services, he's probably going to the main area next. If he's done like fiddling around in there, if he's in the main area, it's probably the hardest because he can either leave back to parts and services, or chilling in the main hallway, or go to the janitor's closet. Right? Now, you might be wondering, I've been talking a lot about Bonnie and how annoying he is. Why don't I just keep my camera on 2B and check that corner? Check the light, check the corner, check the light, check the corner. Should be good, right? No, no, because Golden Freddy, uh, Golden Freddy loves Cam 2B. And if you commit to that strategy, you're almost guaranteed to get Golden Freddy every single time, and he's going to interrupt and be just super annoying in your runs. I wouldn't recommend it. So I think it's just better to unless you can find a workaround, I think it's just better to focus on your right side animatronics and then make sure always to just check the left side. But it's not your complete attention. Of course, it's going to hold your attention, but it's not going to be your complete attention. Oh, a fun little thing to note is uh, AI level actually affects the speed at which these animatronics move. So and AI speed is important because that's how you know how long an animatronic is going to attack you. For example, let's say an AI level of 1 and an AI level of 20 were attacking your door. But let's also say that the AI level 1 and 20 completely succeed in all their movement opportunities every time. Let's say that. Who's getting to your office first? And that's going to be AI level 20. They are much, much faster than the level 1s, meaning that you have to account for that, right? Just because Chica is moves every 5 seconds and needs 6 movement opportunities to get to your door doesn't mean she attacks every 30 seconds. The math looks like it lines up, but remember, characters don't teleport. They had to actually walk or run to their location, and those extra seconds count. So Chica doesn't actually attack every 30 seconds, maybe more like every 40 seconds. Like there's little details to keep in mind. That should be a basic breakdown of all the animatronics. 420 actually isn't that hard once you figure things out. Uh, all you really need to do is just constantly flick your lights and check if they're there. And as long as you have sound cues, you'll be fine. So, how does things change in a no sound run? Well, first of all, you don't get a danger sound when they're at your door because you don't hear it. Secondly, you won't be able to tell if Freddy where he is because you won't hear it. Third, you can't tell if Foxy's rushing your door because you won't hear it. You have to actually visually, physically look in those spaces. Or just be good with timers, I guess, right? And this was what makes the game so much more difficult. Because on a game that likes sound cues or likes to have sound cues for important things, you're just devoid of it. So I think if I had to rank the animatronics in 420 from easiest to most annoying or difficult, it would be Chica, then and then Foxy, then Freddy, and then Bonnie. Because Chica is very set in her path. Foxy's a little bit harder because while you do get a sound cue, his power drain is annoying, and his demanding to use the cameras and sometimes leave yourself vulnerable. While it is great that you use the cameras, you also it's annoying because sometimes Foxy just advances and you're just like, hey man, can we not do that? So yeah, it would definitely be Chica Foxy. Maybe I would make a swap there, but Chica Foxy, Freddy, Bonnie. Bonnie's like really RNG and can slip by easily. Freddy is pretty easy with sound cues, but still can be a problem with his aggressive speed. And I'd probably make some changes there. But moving on to no sound, if I had to make my changes from easiest to hardest, it would be Chica Bunny, Foxy Freddy. Freddy is more aggressive than Foxy, and therefore, and also because of the stall mechanic that you have when you watch him, that can actually play in your detriment because you can't perfectly time when he's gonna move because you're stalling him and kind of messing with the timings of things. So yeah, I just want to go over movement opportunities, movement maps, and just like basic stuff. Honestly, FNAF 1 is definitely the easiest of all the co-op games, probably to do solo, just because everyone's movement opportunities are pretty scripted, like they're pretty straightforward, I guess you could say, with not too much RNG, and they could be they have their flaws to keep up with. Unlike a certain game I've been trying to beat. Jesus Christ, I don't even want to talk about it anymore.